Hello, good morning. This morning, very much I do want to talk about economic systems. When we say economic system, it's all about how we manage our resources as a country, the kind of system we use to manage our resources. You see, in some countries, the resources are only managed by private individuals. In some countries, everything is in the hands of the government, and in some countries, too, parts are in the hands of private individuals and parts are in the hands of the government. So therefore, there are three types of economic systems. The first one is what we call capitalist economic system. Capitalist. In other words, capitalism. Another name for capitalism is free markets economy. Free market economy. Or people say laissez-faire. Laissez-faire economy. In laissez-faire economies, all the resources are managed by private individuals, or a greater percentage of the resources are in the hands of private individuals. And in typical capitalist economies, prices of goods and services are determined by the forces of demand and supply. So it's the demand and supply forces. Government will not say this product should be sold at this price or whatever. It is the market forces themselves that determine prices of all goods and services. Now, when it comes to production, it's only done by private individuals. Government will only provide extra security, the enabling environment. But government does not directly involve in production of goods and services in a typical free market economy. You know, laissez-faire, if you know French, laissez-faire, laissez means allow, faire means to do. So laissez-faire economy, the system is telling government that I'm capable of allocating resources. So leave me to work on my own. And that is capitalism. Capitalism. Now I also have socialism, or centrally planned economic system, or controlled or command economic system. Here, as the name suggests, everything is in the hands of the government. So in typical socialist economies, we have public schools, public media stations, public transport, everything public. And the government determines prices through what we call central planning committee. They will sit and determine the commodities that should be produced, when to produce, how to produce. Everything is in the hands of the government. And finally, mixed economic system is a situation where parts, or it's an economy in which part of the resources are in the hands of private individuals and parts are in the hands of the government. That is mixed economic system. Now, the question is, which of these systems is better? You know, we have the two extreme cases. Capitalism, everything is in the hands of private individuals. Socialism, everything is in the hands of the government. So of the two, which one is better? Anyway, in the case of capitalism or free market economic system, people are creative. People come up with new ideas all the time, and because they know that they are going to benefit at the end of the day. And because of the fact that private individuals know that they are going to benefit from whatever they are doing directly, the commitment level is very high. And for that matter, there is high level of efficiency in capitalist economies. And then consumer sovereignty is guaranteed. The consumer is always given preferential treatment. And in capitalist economies, remember that the market forces themselves are capable of allocating resources. So we don't need any central planning committee, and for that matter, no administrative cost. Now, although capitalism is good to some extent, capitalism fails in certain areas, and these are called market failures. Market what? Failures. That's the areas in which the free market economic system fails. The free market economic system fails in the area of unequal distribution of income. In free market economies, remember that the rich continues to be richer and the poor continues to be poor. Please, how many of us will be willing to go and establish school, a private school in a typical village? Because you don't get any profit, so you may not go. But government will sometimes go to a typical village, go and establish a school, and somebody from that village can become even the president one day. So it means that assuming that the resources were only to be in the hands of private individuals, these village people would have continued to suffer. And none of them would have even gotten access to education. So at least, situation where part of the resources are in the hands of the government will also make sure that those that are less privileged will also get access to education, access to certain facilities. All right. Remember that in free market economy, the survival of the fittest. So if government doesn't come in to, let me say, help the less privileged, some people will continue to suffer till they go to their graves. And then also, the price mechanism, it fails in the area of externality. Externality is where a third party is suffering. In fact, we have a negative one and a positive one. A third party may be benefiting or suffering. Normally, when the third party is benefiting, we say it's a positive externality. Or when the third party is suffering, then we say it's a negative externality. For instance, when somebody is smoking, and there's somebody standing by. This person standing by is neither the buyer nor the seller of the cigarettes. But then, he can be inhaling the smoke, and that can affect his health. That's a negative externality. Now, in free market economies, remember that the situation where there's no government, private individuals may not care about the effects that their actions or activities will have on third parties. So far as they are getting profit, they wouldn't bother in any way. So there should be government. That is why there is Environmental Protection Agency to ensure that you cannot build church or mosque anywhere, anyhow, to, let me say, sometimes disturb the community. The fact that church or mosque is good to you does not mean that you should do it at the expense of people's what? People's happiness or people's peace. So you have to build a church or a mosque at a place that wouldn't affect anybody what? Negatively. But then assuming there were no laws, people would have been building certain facilities, nightclubs, what have you, anywhere, anyhow. So there should be government to check all these things. Now, price mechanism also fails in the area of public goods. Public goods are street lights, the roads, the bridges, what have you. In fact, a public good has non-rivalry consumption and non-exploitability. That means by using it, you cannot prevent somebody from consuming it at the same time. Please, how many of us will use their own monies to provide street lights? The street lights is, let me say, 40. Would you use your own money to fix it? Never, because you feel that by using your own money to do it, people will use it for free, and you cannot prevent them from using it. So, in a situation where there is no government, street lights and certain facilities will never be what? Provided. And finally, price mechanism also fails in the area of merit goods. A merit good, it fails in the area of demerit goods rather. Demerit good. Demerit goods are harmful goods. You see, sometimes people only more like seek their personal interest. They don't care about whether what they are selling will harm people or not. some time ago in Ghana, it was in the news that people were selling fake annies and things like that. You see, in a situation like this, people are only concerned about their profits and not the health of the people. So, in this case, assuming there's no government, people will sell all kinds of commodities. In fact, some people may be selling alcohol to minors, without thinking about the effect that it will have on their health or whether it is legal or illegal. That is why there should be government to check all these things. So in short, although capitalism is good in that it creates high level of efficiency and development, it has its own weaknesses. And the weaknesses of capitalism are the strengths